All right, so welcome back to our series about world building basics. In this one, we're going to start getting into a little bit more geography based world building and how you want to apply that within your stories, your world building, what matters, what really doesn't, how much do you need to worry about, and unfortunately, kind of the wishy-washy answer to that is that everything depends on the story. Okay, if you know that you're going to do like a big epic Lord of the Rings style story where your characters are going to need to travel across large amounts of distance, then you're going to have to spend more time on the geography and building out aspects of the world itself. For this story, and it is kind of a personal preference. I usually do more contained stories to central locations. It's just you can call it a hub location if you want. That's usually how I write. But every story is going to be a bit different. But in this case, getting back into our example here, so in the last couple of videos, we went over getting started and then fleshing out your idea a bit. So let's get a bit more into geography. So we can kind of go ahead and drop down here a little bit more, or so you don't have to look at the bottom of the screen, I will drop this stuff down and start back up here. And if this is difficult to read, let me know, because I can make this all bigger, of course. If that's difficult, if that should be better to read. So what do we know about the world so far? We know it's a big pine forest in the north. Okay, we know that there is a plains kingdom probably to the south. Okay, so these are the two key geographical points that we need to know for the purposes of telling this story so far. It's a big pine forest in the north, and that there's a plains kingdom to the south that is destroying the forest for the cattle. Why to the south? Because if it's a big pine forest in the north, chances are that people are not going to be grazing their cattle further north, possibly to the east or west, but south makes the most sense. Just think about real world geography. That's your starting point for most things. Because everybody understands, at least to some degree, how the real world works and how geography in the real world works. Okay? You go further north, it tends to get colder, unless you are in the southern hemisphere, in which case going further north gets hotter and going south gets colder. So that unto itself tells us that we're in the northern hemisphere. So that in the future, that might be a useful detail. You never know. So let's go ahead and consider some more geographical details. We know that the town of Greenvik is on or near a river. Let's say it's on a river. Okay, where is that river coming from? Generally speaking, rivers start in mountains and then head to the coast. Not always, sometimes they come out of lakes or bodies of water just form where there's lots and lots of rain a lot of the time, but usually they start in mountains and head to the coast, following gravity, and then they cut through the landscape. So we can say further north is a mountain. Okay. And we can go ahead and come over here and places and locations. Mountain names. Thundering Summit, New Mountains, Violent Heights, Angry Hills, Torpid's Highland, Mysterious Tops, the Immense Peaks. Let's go with the Mysterious Tops. That sounds cool. Sometimes that's all you need a name to be, is something that sounds cool. It might come up in the story later. You never know. So then what else do we know we need? Okay, so there's woodland elves, wee folk, and dryads. Where do they live? Well, dryads are tree spirits, so we could say that they can be found all over the forest. They don't have a particular location they're going to be found in. Found in the deepest, oldest, darkest parts of the forest. Okay, woodland elves. Let's say they have a tree top settlement called, go back to places and locations, city and town names. There is the elven city names. Fleon? No. That looks okay, but we're going to need to workshop it a bit. Selinor. Normally I'd be saving all this stuff, and I will when I'm done with this particular video, but let's keep going. There is an eye in mountains. Mountain. Okay. So what other things would we want to know about this? Is there anything else that really leaps out as being super important for geography at this point? I'm not seeing anything. Nothing is just pouncing off the screen at me here. Except for where is Selinor? They have a treetop settlement called Selinor. Let's say it's to the west. And Grinevik is central, near the border of the kingdom. Which does actually bring to mind one thing we need, which is a name for the kingdom. And there's like a realm name generator. You can use kingdom names, city and town names, continent names. All of these I have used for everything and anything in between, honestly. Luthage Empire. Zorinth. The Zorinth Kingdom. Steofate Empire. That. Steofate Empire. Okay, so we have a name for. And what is the forest called? Silly me, I didn't give the forest a name. Forest names. Mysterious Wood. Nah. Misty Hickory Wood. Broad Fir Woods. That works. Big Pine Forest in the north, it's the Broad Fir Woods. Only let's change that to forest. Okay. So now we've kind of taken the little bits that we know we need and we've fleshed them out a little bit, focusing on geography. Okay? And again, that is really the entire secret to kind of organic world building, is that you focus on the little bits and pieces you have, and then you decide, okay, now I'm going to do this thing. In this case, we're doing geography. And then you figure out all the details that you need right now for the geography, and then you move on to the next thing. And you build it out, and then you figure out, okay, I need another location, and you do it all over again for that location. But stick to what you need for the story, because you can always build things out later as you need. So thanks very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Let me know what issues you have with world building, and I'll get to those in other videos or directly in the comments. I have more resources in the description that you might want to check out. Again, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Later.